and CEO of Santevia Water Systems. That's my title, but really my most important job is I'm a mom of 3 kids. And I'd like you to meet.
Hi, I'm Jackie, and I am the International Sales Manager at Santevia, as well as being a mom of 3 kids.
Having 3 kids is amazing, isn't it? It's like, I'll tell you, it's like a 3-ring circus most of the time. One of the things that I have really learned over the years is that my role as mom as a lifelong health coach. So that has been a really important role. And I went to university as a kinesiologist. And during that time, I learned a lot about the body and how it works and health. And when I became a mom, I was really surprised that that was so important to not only know about health, but to teach my kids along the road about health.
I've found the same thing, although I'm not a health coach. I've been incredibly focused on our kids, both my husband and I have been, on their diet and sleep are the 2 main issues and rules in our house. When I say issues, they've not been an issue. There's no room.
I have what I call the big 3 I've always worked on, and it's what you eat, what you drink, and what you do. And that do involves exercise, but also sleep. Yeah. And I think we live in a society right now where sleep is just like crazy. Nobody gets enough sleep or nobody gets good sleep. And it affects everybody's personality, especially teenagers.
Oh yeah, they're not at their best.
Definitely not at their best. And so I know that health was such an important thing for me. And when my husband David had a big health crisis, it was like I just didn't know what to do. And the doctor said David had chronic acid reflux. And I'm like, chronic acid reflux? Like he was really going, like he couldn't sleep, he couldn't eat things. This chronic acid reflux was causing him such amazing issues in his whole chest and coughing. We thought actually he had pneumonia, but it actually turned out that he had chronic acid reflux. The doctor said, medication for life. And I went, oh my gosh, medication for life. That was not part of what I had talked about, trained, what I had taught my family as they were growing up. And so I said no. And I went and did a lot of research. And we found out that chronic acid reflux was actually this acid alkaline balance. And so David was on that medication for 1 course, which was 90 days. And we actually fixed what he ate, what he drank, and what he did, which included exercise and sleep. And he's never been on the medication since. So that cemented in for me that it was just so important to teach our kids all about health. So tell me, what have you done to teach your kids health?
It started before they were born. In all honesty, I decided when I was going to be a mom to take my diet very seriously, even though we were pretty good about the eating organic and healthy to the best of our abilities. But then when the kids came along, I tried to make sure that they weren't going to be reliant on juice or juice boxes, and they weren't going to eat unhealthy snacks. So since the very beginning, they've had a very healthy diet, and their primary intake of liquids during the day for their entire lives has been water. And for the past 10 plus years, I'm not quite sure how long we've known each other now, but since I met you, yeah, very long time, they have been drinking alkaline water. And I think that that is a very large contribution to their diet and their health. And I mean, even their well-being of their skin is good, their hair is good, like they look great.
So I want you guys to touch on this. What is this chart here?
So the chart is all about the pH scale, and you can see the pH scale goes from 0 to 10 to 14, and here you see 3 to 10. And on that low side are acidic things. And on the blue-purple side is alkaline. Now, our standard American diet is really, and you can see that through the different things that are in there, and I always called it hamburger, fries, and a Coke. And that standard American diet is very, very acidic. Now, all the things your mom taught you, and I certainly taught my kids, eat your veggies and have real whole fruits, food right from earth to table, are on the right-hand side, which is your alkaline side. And those things are way more alkaline and healthy for you. So I've never subscribed to a diet, but a lifestyle. And if we eat predominantly from the alkaline side, then you'll maintain homeostasis or a neutral place in your body. And when your pH is in exactly where you're supposed to be, 7.36, which is your normal body pH, then your body can heal itself. And that's a really, really important place to be. That doesn't mean, and I have to be honest, that doesn't mean that I don't like some of the things on the acidic side. I love a glass of wine and dark chocolate, both a little on that acidic side, but it's all about balance. And for me, as long as I'm eating the majority of the time in the alkaline side, then I can actually enjoy some of the things on the acidic side. But choose your battles. If you're eating on the acidic side all the time, or the majority of the time, and only a little bit of the time on the alkaline side, then that's going to cause your body to work way too hard. And it's going to rob all of those neutralizing, buffering minerals, and you're going to end up being open. Your immune system's actually going to be overstressed, and then you can get things like colds and flus. Right now, life is pretty crazy. The one thing we want to do is keep our immune system strong.
And focus on everything in moderation.
Focus on everything in moderation. I mean, we have restrictions, we got things happening to us that we really don't have a choice about. COVID is it's here, and it's our reality. And if you can do one thing, I know I'm not talking about all the things. Yes, wear your mask, wash your hands, do all of those things. But if you can do one thing to protect you and your family, and that is focus on your immune system right now. And that means eat predominantly from that alkaline side. Drink alkaline water. Why? And you see there, this is something that I have a kind of a mixed feeling about. So I look at that alkaline bottle of water, and I have an issue with that because single-use plastic water bottles are one of the most they're one of the worst things for our environment because over 80% of them do not get recycled, single-use plastic water bottles. So one of the things that Santevia Water Systems does is we create clean, mineralized, and naturally alkaline water, but in a reusable format. So we eliminate those single-use plastic water bottles. Do I believe, and I do believe, that our families really need to drink water. I actually was at.
We all own glasses at home.
We do. We actually all own glasses at home. But I was talking to a person that had kidney disease, and kidney disease often comes from people who eat the standard American diet. Lots of times they start off, they end up with type 2 diabetes. We hear a lot about that now. If they still don't pay attention to it, it can progress to kidney disease. And this guy that I was talking to had kidney disease, and he was talking to his nephrologist. That's a mouthful, but that's the kidney doctors. And he said one thing he learned was beverages are not equal to water. Tea, coffee, even though they have liquid in them, they're not equal to coffee. And of course we know sodas are, if you look, sodas are down at the 3 to 4 acidic on that scale. And one of the things that we want to do is move people away from those. I can tell you one trick that I did with my kids. When my kids were little, what we did was I was part of the fight. I mean, I want juice, I want I want a Coke, I want pop. And I just forget it. I didn't want to put up with the fight. So what I did was I completely took all juices, all sodas, all anything fizzy, and don't be fooled because if you have water that's fizzy, as I like to call it, any kind of carbonated water is also acidic. So I just removed them all from the house, and I only allowed them to be in the house one time, and that was on their birthdays. And then I got caught one time because birthday party was over, and my son watched me take a large bottle of Coke, pouring it down the street, and he's coming to me, no, don't do that. But I poured it down the sink because I knew
It's in the house.
if it's in the house, they're going to drink it. So what we did was we have a large gravity water system, and we set it up on a very low table so that the kids, even the youngest, my youngest could actually access it. We put a whole stack of plastic cups right beside it, and the kids could help themselves to water. Self-serve. And I did put a big carpet on the floor in front of it because, yeah, they're not so good at self-serve. Sometimes has a few self-accidents. But what it did was it got them in the habit of water. And in fact, with the gravity water system, these kids, their friends came in and they said, hey, can we drink from your cooler? And they thought this was so great. The kids would not even come in and ask for juice or pop because they thought this was so cool that they could actually self-serve from our gravity water system. And in fact, in the summer, I would take it out and put it on the picnic table in the backyard so they could all self-serve and I didn't have to worry about the floor.
So what's different between the gravity water system and a regular water filter or the Mina that's right there?
So what's really different about the Santevia products is we take out the bad and we add back in the good. Right? So we take out the bad things like, of course, chlorine, but lead, pharmaceuticals, other contaminants, glyphosate, cadmium, all of these, the bad stuff that you really don't want in your drinking water. And we put back in good stuff. Calcium, magnesium, trace minerals.
Say hi to Candy from Spain, who's watching.
Hi, Candy.
Candy and
How
Ramsey.
are you? Awesome. These are our great friends in Spain. Fantastic. So that's Santevia takes out the bad, puts back in the good, and it leaves the water tasting great, which is, I think, why the kids all love the water.
I have that same experience in my house because we have always had this and we've always lived between a high school and elementary school. So whether the kids were in elementary school or high school, all the friends came to our house and drank our water all the time, which some of these kids didn't often drink water or ask for it, although they knew there was no option in our house. So, I mean, I was very strict with that. But in saying that, they would come and one of the girls, one of my son's friends would say, I love drinking your water. It tastes so good. It almost tastes sweet. It tastes like I'm getting healthy when I drink it, which I thought was a great thing. And then another one came in who said, we have a Brita, but it doesn't taste like yours. And I said, but yours is not a Brita. It remineralizes the water, and that's what's making it taste so great. And, you know, like she is going to go home and tell the mom that they have to have it.
And those minerals, what is so important about the minerals is that we as a population are demineralized, especially magnesium. And by the Santevia products putting calcium and magnesium back in the water, we actually can help neutralize that. And that standard American diet, those acidic foods that are eating, what they do for our body to naturally balance, and we call that, the scientists call that homeostasis, to get back to the regular level that the body needs to be at. It steals calcium, magnesium, those buffering minerals, which we have. And that's why, actually, that's even the underlying cause of osteoporosis.
Yes, when your body needs it, it's going to pull it.
When the body needs it, and the core of the body is the most important, it robs. Yes. And it'll rob from muscles, it'll rob from bones, it will rob. And unless we're constantly putting back calcium and magnesium into our diet. The other problem is our soil is so bad nowadays that we have depleted the soil, and so
It's void of nutrients.
it's void of nutrients. So the apple that you eat today is really different than the apple your grandparents ate because there's just not as many minerals because the minerals aren't coming from the soil to get up to the fruit. The vegetables the same way. So it's really important for us to.
So I want to show a video from Rick Asselstein, right? And he talks about the standard American diet, right? So let's take a look at that. Rick was a former firefighter and triathlete. He's an American health activist and a food writer. He's the author of The Engine 2 Diet and Plant Strong. And so he's going to chat a little bit about the standard American diet and some facts for us here.
If you are eating the standard American diet, you will more than likely die the standard American death and acquire the standard American diseases, okay? Let's talk for a second about why the standard American diet is such an abomination. 63% of America's calories are coming from refined and processed foods that are nothing but empty calories that do nothing to enhance your health and only hurt your health. 63%. 25% are coming from animal-based products. Animal-based products like meat, dairy, eggs, that have all the building blocks that create disease. We have animal fat, we have animal cholesterol, and we have animal protein. And we have 12% that are coming from plant-based foods. Wonderful, wonderful plant-based foods. And believe it or not, half of that 12% is coming from French fries. So really, only 6% of America's calories are coming from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. And so we really are a country that is incredibly plant weak. And it is my mission, it is my goal, it is my crusade to get America to become more plant strong. Okay?
All right, Jackie, can you believe that? It's like
6% from French fries.
6%, but only 12%
But
plant-based.
12, yeah, half of the plant that they eat is French fries, which is not even should be qualified as vegetable.
Well, what really caught me with that video was that only 12% was on that alkaline side. And that's a real problem when we have the rest of it coming from the acidic side. That's out of balance.
Yes.
Remember, the whole thing is to be in balance. We need to really flip that. We need great people like Rep to really advocate that we need to be eating more fruits and vegetables. And I don't mean fruits as in fruit juice. I mean fruits as in real fruits and real vegetables. All these, I was at actually the farmer market on Sunday, and farmers markets are coming up strong. We need to get into the farmers markets. And one of the things the farmer was telling me was that we should be eating in season as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's really important for us, and the nutrients that we get from the food is best in season. And one of the things is you go into your grocery store nowadays and there's so many packaged foods and there's so many options that aren't in season. And we need to really be looking more. But coming back full circle to mom as a lifelong health coach, the other thing we need to do is we need to be teaching our kids.
It's so important. And I feel like mine have taken a lot of this. And of course, you know, you go through your stages with your kids of what they feel like participating with and not feeling like it. As they get older, sometimes it gets more difficult. And I'm quite thankful that we started ours and have an incredibly good base and a good knowledge, you know. For the most part, they knew that the perimeter of the store was where we did our grocery shopping. We tried not to do too many aisles. And if we did, they learned as soon as they could read to read a label. And I don't mean to read the big words, but they knew the word sugar and they could see the word grams next to it and see if that was a good choice for them. And they knew that they were never allowed to have anything that had like more than Makes me sound so tough. For the most part, more than like 8 grams of sugar.
You know, I loved your idea of shopping the perimeter of the grocery store. If we could teach people and really teach our kids that you actually you have to do that first. Go all the way around the outside, which is where the veggies are, which is where probably your dairy, your fresh breads, your different things that you really should have in your shopping cart are in the perimeter, and start always with the veggie selection. So if your whole cart looks almost full, and try, just try not to go into those aisles where all the tempting things are, and yet the things that aren't so good. Again, it's all about balance, but we really have to think about the reason our society is getting sick and sicker, and we are the sickest society out there, is because we're eating on the acidic side of the scale. We're not eating on the alkaline side. Such a simple and yet ridiculously difficult change to make is to move to eating alkaline, drinking alkaline, but not in those bottles. Something
from home.
Something from home.
Pour it and drink.
And we've got a great opportunity here. I mean, we talk about all the negatives of COVID, but one of the opportunities is we are home more. And because we're home more, we have this great opportunity to focus on your immune system by really looking at what you're eating, what you're drinking, and are you sleeping enough? Because these elements are so essential. And even if people say, oh, I can't go to the gym and I can't do this, you can walk. Moving is really the most important thing. So it's what you eat, what you drink, what you do, and that means move and sleep. You can do yoga, you can do all sorts of things, but eat alkaline, drink lots of water, and remember, it's not all those other things. People say to me, oh, I had lots of liquids today. What? Yeah. And believe me, I wake up in the morning, I have a glass of lemon water, and then a second glass of water, so 2 glasses of water just to refill the body. But then I'm normal. I have a coffee.
Do you have a morning routine, Jackie?
I do. I often start with the water, and I always move to a coffee next because I need my coffee in the morning. But for the rest of the day, for the most part, I like to just drink water. I'm not a fan of juice. I never have been. And not for any other reason than I actually just don't like it. Not for health reasons. I actually just don't like it, and I don't like pop as well. So I've always just drank water, and passing that on to my kids is good. They were allowed to have juice, but when they were young, all the way until quite late, they had to have it half water. So it was a good way to go. And obviously, we had the alkaline water readily available to them. So
Right.
they went along with it.
So I want to move us on to a quick clip from the doctors, and they're going to talk about the alkaline diet. Okay.
It's been all over social media and the news, and maybe even someone you know is doing it. I'm talking about the alkaline diet. There's a new diet trend getting the endorsement from celebrities like Kelly Ripa to Victoria Beckham. It's called the alkaline diet. Proponents of the diet claim that you can alter your body's acidity levels by eating specific foods. Proponents say that it gives you an energy boost, slows down aging, and can even protect you against cancer. But is there any science to back up these claims?
My godmother was actually on the alkaline diet, but I will say that 2 months ago she was on a different diet, and 3 months before that it was a different diet. But one thing about it that I find interesting is that the water industry has kind of capitalized on this. So you're noticing all these alkaline waters that are popping up for $5 and $10 a bottle. Yeah.
Well, I can
One
see,
more way to make money.
I can
Yes.
see Travis shaking his head. I mean, come on, we spent a lot of time in medical school studying acid-base physiology, and guess what? There's something in the body called homeostasis. It keeps your pH exactly where it's supposed to be, the acidity. So that being said, it stands to reason, though, that if you have too much of anything, either way in your body, that it may make the body work harder. Just like if you make your immune system work too hard, you may get sick.
Well, and one of the things I do want to say is in defense of the theory of the alkaline diet, or I should say the practicality of it, is look at this graphic. And this is the one thing I do want to say that I really like. If you look at the alkaline foods there, you're talking about a pH of 8. So 7 is quote unquote right in the middle. Anything below that is acidic. Anything over that is considered alkaline. You know, at pH of 8, you're looking at apples and almonds. 9 is avocados, green tea.
What's a perfect 10?
10?
Kale,
Brussels sprouts, broccoli. Those are all pretty doggone healthy foods.
Oh, yeah.
But they're healthy because they're healthy and they're loaded with antioxidants, not because when you eat it, it's going to change your pH and your bloodstream to any significance. But the truth be told, you can just eat those foods and embrace them and love them. But the reason that I don't love this whole idea of the alkaline diet, so one of my favorite things, sparkling water, it's pH of 3.
Right.
And so I mix this up with regular water because I don't drink soda, and I love it.
Mix it with bourbon.
And
I've seen you do it.
Every single morning, I have to have my wonderful antioxidant-laden cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You all love coffee, and this is acidic.
Yeah.
It's all about balance and eating healthy foods in moderation, and it's not gonna hurt you to drink alkaline water.
Nope.
But if you want to save money and drink tap water, go for it. That's what I do. And last but not least, it seems like this whole show is kind of centered around celebs and us following their lead. And just celebs don't know any more about health than you do. They didn't go to medical school. They didn't. And you know, and I love a lot of celebs and I love the things they promote. But just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you have a science background.
You know, and
True.
Key points that I noticed as the doctors mentioned, everything in moderation, which we said as well. Another point, alkaline water in a bottle is expensive. There's no reason to do it when you have access to it at home. Not to mention, it's not an environmentally friendly choice. There's enough plastic water bottles going around the world right now. We don't need to add to it. This is a key way to take that component right out and do it from home. And then another thing that I noticed that they touched on is that one of the doctors mentioned the carbonated fizzy water. If you're drinking that all the time, I don't really know that counts as water, which he should have touched on, but he did say he does everything in moderation. But that is putting him not in an alkaline position on a regular basis if he's drinking it all the time.
So I have to say that it's true that there's no diet that is good. We need a lifestyle.
Yes.
And what we saw from the previous clip that Rick did is that only 12% of people are eating only 12% on the alkaline side. We need to change the balance. We need it 80-20. 80% on that alkaline side, your fruits, your veggies. I mean, this is great stuff. Roasted vegetables are fantastic. Brussels sprouts being a 10. Avocados. Add some of these things daily to your diet. Add alkaline water to your diet. Right now, we want an immune system that's top-notch so that you don't end up with COVID. And we want to move to that alkaline lifestyle. The other thing I want to say is when we live too much on the acidic side, we are constantly robbing our body from those buffering minerals. And that's where we have to stay in homeostasis and stay at that neutral level. Health is something, Mom as lifelong health coach, I can tell you moms out there, you teach your children more about health and healthy lifestyle than any doctor ever will. They get about, on average, 8 to 15 hours of nutritional training in their entire medical career, and they're supposed to be coaching us. Mom, this is your job. This is you.
And
teaching
dads.
And dads, but I have to say primarily moms. It's true because moms teach your kids from the time they are 0, 1, 2. And one of the books I give every new mom for that shower gift when they have a new baby is Let Them Eat Dirt. And that is an incredible book teaching moms about the microbiome, which is this is where our immune system is. People used to think it was in their head or their stomach. Well, actually know that in your gut is the majority of your immune system. And that is known as your microbiome. And in the book, Let Them Eat Dirt, it shows how we can actually help new moms learn about their kids growing healthy immune systems. And right now, being so clean, we have to be careful. In fact, they're even saying that we should be washing our hands with regular soap, not antibacterial soap. And right now, we've got to let that immune system work. And keeping your immune system tip-top is so important. And so it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle.
You can make a healthy choice by not depleting your own, by preserving it and preserving it by eating an alkaline diet.
Yeah. And so Santevia water system. In conclusion, I just want to say the standard American diet is something that we just don't want to get into. Hamburger, fries, and a Coke, that's not where you want to live. It's going to make your immune system depressed, and it's going to leave you open to catching colds, flus, all sorts of disease. The alkaline diet, remember, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Eat alkaline, choose alkaline, and what that also means, it means drinking lots of alkaline water. And alkaline water, when we think about that, takes out the bad, but adds that good back in. So Santevia water systems, if you want to know more about Santevia water systems, where do we find out, Jackie?
You can email us at help@santevia.com.
Or go onto our website.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're a new customer, you can even use the code WELCOME10. That's on the bottom of your screen right now, and you can get 10% off on Santevia.
So moms,
more water.
Yeah, drink more water. Moms, thank you. We really want moms to really get out there, everybody. But I know that one of the reasons both Jackie and I are in the health business is because of our kids.
Yes.
And our families. We want to keep kids and families healthy. And it really takes coaching from the time they're 2 to the time they're 22 and 32, and if you're my husband, 42, 52, 62. It never ends. So thank you, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.